Hey there, gun pals. Welcome back to the channel. We are headed out into the wilds of California today looking for Gunpla. We're going to visit two different stores, and we're going to start it off here at Anime Island in the San Francisco Bay Area. Check it out right there. It's a Dave's Hot Chicken. I don't know if you like hot chicken. I've been to a number of Dave's. I've never been to that one. I like it hot. I get it hot or one level above hot. Let's keep walking towards Anime Island, which I saw on their Google listing said they had model kits, and it looked like they had Gunpla. Here we're looking at the front of the building. I want to get their logo in here as many times as I can. So, yep, there's one there, and then a little higher even. And when you enter Anime Island, you are greeted by a whole bunch of artwork, which I loved. Along the left side, they have all these illustrations done by various people. This is not the only artwork they had in the store, though. Across the way, they had a cornucopia, a plethora of Post-it notes that you could draw on, and then they actually had a tape dispenser that you could use to tape them to the wall there. So after looking at the art and checking out the Post-it notes, we headed in looking for Gunpla, found a lot of blind bags and blind boxes, tons of anime figure statues, plushies. What you won't see is a whole lot of Gunpla because they don't have any in this store. I thought I read somewhere that I did, so I went looking all around. I enlisted my wife's help to start looking, and the only thing we found were some Pokemon Bandai kits, which I have assembled. $10 is the right price for those, so it's not like they were marked up crazy. That's a fine price for those particular model kits. The problem is I just assembled one on the Mega Man video, and I have two more that I'm going to do on a video coming up, so I didn't really need any more Pokemon model kits. So we looked around a little bit more, and we're about to call it quits. And hiding right below Naruto Uzumaki, I found this. It wasn't Gunpla, but it looked very much like it. It was more of just like a robot model kit. I'd never seen it before. I don't know the company Moy or whatever this thing was called. I don't think they looked that fantastic, but they were deeply discounted, and so we picked one of those up. We'll be putting it together right on this very video. We'll get to open this up together and see what is inside of this model kit and how does it compare to Bandai or some of the other kits we put together. Off to our next stop, just a little bit north. We are now in Walnut Creek, California. Let's take a look at this big reveal shot of the building and all the CGI I put into this. Look at this CGI bee just sort of floating up there. I mean, it's expertly timed. Okay, I went for it again without the bee. But there it is, finally in the background. It says Anime Store, real big, and then below it's smaller, near me. You can see their hours are Monday through Sunday, 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. Anime Store near me sells all sorts of stuff, plushies, pins, buttons, bunch of blind boxes there at the front. So I was looking through those, and then this caught my eye. No, not that one. Go down a little bit. Yes, this is what caught my eye right here. Gundam Artifact, which is not really a blind box because it tells you what it is on there, but it is a very small, like, micro Gunpla kit. And so I was very excited about this. I thought about getting the Domtropin, which is the very first Gunpla I ever built on this channel, but I don't think I actually got that one. I don't remember right now as I'm recording this. You'll find out in a second because we're going to open it up and see what's inside there. I also looked at these, which I hope they are model kits because I got one as well. At $10, you can almost get a lower HG grade for that at some stores. So you can see they also carry a bunch of paint supplies from Mr. Hobby, which I love. And they got a whole bunch of stuff. They got, all the colors, except for the ones you need, like every hobby store. Walking down one of the many anime figure aisles to another row or shelves of anime figures. But that's not what you want to see. You want to see this row right here. This is just one of like 3 shelved rows of all Gunpla and some plamo stuff in there. So if you look right here, they have a bunch of some figure model kits from Kotobukaya. Same company that built the Mega Man X model that I did on a previous video that I love. I love their stuff, so I was very interested in those. And then, yeah, check these out here. They had a ton of the Mega Man X Capcom models, and I wanted all of them. Which one would you get if you had to pick from this set right here? Which one would you pick up? I'm going to tell you this. They all started at about $81 and then went up to the high 90s from there, I believe. Maybe the low 100s. I don't know. Because full disclosure, we were on a mission. The next day after the day that this was filmed on, we were on a mission to go to Ying's Toys and Hobbies in Chinatown of San Francisco, described as something of a temple to Gunpla, and I wanted to go to it, so I'm saving my Gunpla bucks for the next day, so I didn't get any of these bigger kits, even though I wanted all of them. Oh yeah, and check this out. You'd all be proud of me, I think. Right here, a Victory 2 Gundam Verka for Hajime Kotoki. I'm not exactly sure how to say the name, but I now know what that means. It means that this model series or this model was overseen by that designer, and it's one of the ones you recommend, and I recognized it, and yeah, I didn't get it. I'm not ready to jump into master grade yet, and again, saving the Gunpla bucks. But I did recognize it and took time to film it, and I feel like that counts for something, even if you don't think it counts for something. Some more real grades that you don't want to look at. Let's look at the back wall there, okay? Yes, they got the keychains. They got the Zaku and Gundam keychains there. Probably should have picked one of those up. Along the back, I can't believe I didn't get any video of it. I thought I did. So I guess I'll go back and look, but maybe I didn't hit the record button. They had tons of tools, which is what I loved most about this store, is they had side cutters, flush cutters from any brand you could think of. Slide decals, which I did pick up one of those. I'm super excited to try out the slide decals on an upcoming model. They had scribing templates, chisels, hand drills, pretty much anything you've seen on YouTube and been like, where did they get that? They had that there. All sanding, polishing blocks, all different grades sandpaper. So I took my 3 purchases to the front. My wife tried to get me to spend more of my Gunpla money before we got to Ying's on a Transformers blind box. But I didn't give in, as much as I love Transformers. So the title of this video might say something like, I wish every Gunpla store was like this one. And what I mean by that is certainly not that I wish every store was exactly like this one, because that's what franchises do, and they're probably not the funnest thing once everything starts to look the same. But what I mean is I wish everyone were different and unexpected and surprising and had things that you were surprised and excited to find. And in this one, I found tons of Gunpla, kits that I recognized for the first time, so I actually felt like I knew a little bit about what I was doing. The tool selection was second to none of any store that I've been into, and I really appreciated how much tools and how much after customization stuff that they had. It was such a great mix of all the things that make a Gunpla store great, and I certainly wouldn't be disappointed if everyone I walked into was just like this one, except for totally different. Now it's time to open up these boxes and see what is inside. So let's go ahead and tear into the first one, the New Centuries Moi. I don't know the manufacturer's name. Got out the runners, took a look at the directions. It was all on one page, but looked easy enough to follow. Although I noticed on these smaller instructions, it's kind of hard to make out the shapes. Clipped through all the pieces and got building, and so far, my only complaint with the model really was just the fit. Everything was super tight. There wasn't, like, the tolerances on the plastic were just really tight. And so it was hard to get things to fit together. And also the plastic felt a bit harder than Bandai plastic. But, I got things snapped together. It wasn't that big a deal. Got everything put together. I'm just putting the shoulder guns on there now. I just got to snap on the arms and the legs and all that. You got to take a listen to these joints just to see how hard and tight fitting this plastic is. I actually recorded some of the joint noise for you, which is something you woke up wanting to hear. You're like, I wonder if today's the day I'm going to be able to get to hear some joint noise. Well, you're going to hear it right here. Listen to how squeaky it is. That's indicative of the plastic quality, which I thought was very good, just a little bit hard for Gunpla. So if you look at the arms, you can see there at first, I've got them in totally the wrong spot. Finally get them situated underneath the guns, and then get these tiny little legs attached to it. And that's probably my biggest complaint of the 3 complaints I have, which would be the plastic, the directions, the ease of putting it together, the depth and size of the holes. It would be the size of the legs. They look really, really short for this one. It looks like they designed the top of it, and then the bottom, they're just like, we're done. Just throw some legs on it. So it's fine. The design is not amazing. Then you put the little stand there in the back, and then you can stand them up. So we got that one built, and then I wanted to move on to something smaller after putting that together, so I decided to open up the little box, hoping it was just a tiny little tiny runner, something really adorable, but it wasn't. It was just your standard blind box with a pre-assembled figure. Well, I got to do some assembly. I had to put on the Gundam hood ornament, attach the shield and the gun, which does not count as building. But spoiler alert, this happens to be the favorite thing that we got from the 3 boxes, which you're like, oh no. What happened with the plastic model kit, with the Gundam? And yeah, we're about to find out what happened with the Gundam, because it was the worst thing I've ever put together in my life by far. And I've put together baby furniture and all sorts of stuff from IKEA I've put together. And the next kit, the Gundam Zaku 3, was abominable. Anyways, first we got to get the box open. It's got a little thumb punch there on the left. So you just punch your thumb into there and pull out the runners. Anyways, I started building this, and right away I knew we were in trouble. The directions were tiny, not well printed, and almost impossible for me to read. I literally cannot make sense of what part was what and where it went, and so I just knew that we were in trouble. Another huge complaint with this is that the runner color and the text on it was almost impossible to read. I had tons of lights here because I was filming, so I was trying to angle it and get the reflection so that I could read the number, and that worked out all right. But what worked better for me was to go ahead and just color all of them in black, so that when I did tilt them at an angle, I could actually read what part number it was. Finally got the whole thing assembled. Little secret just between you and I, there's a fair amount of Mr. Cement SP on this thing, just because the connections were so, I believe the technical word is wonky. Anyways, put the head on there and was super glad, overjoyed to be done with this build, even though the right arm is upside down and I had cemented it that way, so there was no moving it. I was just glad that I got it done. Anyways, as you take a look at these finished models, I guess what I'm saying is I wish every Gunpla store was like this one, in that it is unique and unexpected and offers a wide variety of things for people to enter this wonderful hobby through. Just, know that if you get something small, it's going to be challenging to put together. You would think that getting something small is a great place to start, but I'm not sure that logic holds true. It certainly didn't today. Anyways, I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot for watching.
The anime store near me, yes, that's the name. It's a 2-hour trek and most of it is just one lane. Pedal to the metal, here we go. Speed up, up. Slow down, down. I promise this Gunpla store is the best one in town. Speed up, up. Won't you please? I need a Gundam by Hajime Katoki. Yeah. I pack some snacks, download a podcast or 2. The snacks are for me or the Mobile Suit Breakdown crew. Pedal to the metal, here we go. Speed up, up. Slow down, down. I promise this Gunpla store is the best one in town. Speed up, up. Won't you please? I need a Gundam by Hajime Katoki.